Hello everyone and welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how I use Higgsfield.ai to create my static creatives inside of my business. Now, if you didn't know, I run a company called Azento. We help e-commerce stores build complete marketing infrastructure, right? So that's meta ads, email marketing, a little bit of CRO, and obviously how we implement AI into the creative process when it comes to making ads and obviously graphic design and so on and so forth, right? Now, this video is going to show you exactly my process on how I make ads for my own company, because obviously I run ads to bring in traffic for myself, send it to a landing page, so on and so forth, right? Now, this is also going to be useful for you if you also run a business, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be an agency like mine. You can be running an e-commerce store and be thinking, okay, Josh, how can I use this process to make static creatives for myself, right? Because as I'm sure you know, if you're watching this video, you probably have made static ads in the past anyway. It takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of thinking, right? Now, it's worth noting, this video is not going to go into the finities of how to structure a static ad. This is just going to be showing you my exact prompts, my exact structure, and I'm not really going to go into the actual layout and the actual psychology behind the static creative process, okay? If you want to see that, I will make another video. It's just, if I did it in this video, it's going to take me about maybe half an hour, 45 minutes to get through it, right? Now, I have already made a prompt and I'm just actually waiting on Higgsfield to finish up the generations. So I thought it'd be a good idea to let me just run you back at the prompt and actually show you what I've done, okay? Now, important thing to note, I've already made a master prompt for this project and made a chat inside ChatGPT, right? And I've outlined everything that I've already wanted ChatGPT to do. Very important step that you do. This is where you can include things like brand guidelines, brand colors, do's and don'ts, right? The rules that you want ChatGPT to follow inside of this project. I've also, very good thing to do, if you haven't already, is take screenshots of ads that you like in terms of the style, right? Take screenshots, upload them to the project, and have ChatGPT analyze them and describe them each in depth, and just say, look, I really like the style of these. Do not copy them in terms of text and in terms of layout, but I really like the style of them, right? Can you use this as a reference whenever creating my prompts for my static creatives, okay? Now, this is my prompt. Hey ChatGPT, can you make me a static creative prompt for Azento, my company? I want the headline to read something like Shopify store owners doing above 30K a month. And then a subheadline, if you want to go from a 2 times ROAS to a 4 to 8 ROAS, then have a CTA button saying click learn more, right? Very, very straightforward. This works very well. It provides me with a cost per lead of maybe anywhere from 10 to 25 pounds, which is absolutely fine in my use case, because again, I'm not going to go into the finities, but if you have a service worth, you know, £1,000, £2,000, right, and your cost per lead is 30, that is more than doable, right? You just have to be aware of your cost per acquisition as well, right? But again, that's a whole nother video. I would be here for hours and hours if I tried to explain that. But again, if you do want to see that video, please do let me know in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to make it. So once I had that, this is what it came out with. And this is very important to include in your prompts as well. So using the following colors strictly as visual reference only. Do not render, display, or print or include any hex codes or color text in the image itself, right? Because I have included my brand's colors, aka 10332A, this is my kind of background color. One thing that I noticed when trying this in my personal time is sometimes it will include the hex color inside of the actual creative, which is really annoying because certain creatives that I made in the past look really nice. I was going to use them and then only to look a bit further, and then it has the actual color code slap bang in the middle, and it just ruins the whole thing, right? You can edit it out, don't get me wrong, right? With the use of AI, you can edit it out, but again, it just takes time, right? Whereas if you include this in your original prompt, it just mitigates that factor completely, okay? So make sure you include something like that especially if you are getting that as a common thing, as a common theme, right? You're getting this show up in the actual static itself. Make sure to include that, okay? But this is from the reference images that I uploaded to ChatGPT. Like I say, upload some images of ads that you like. Just say, look, I like the style of this. In this case, ChatGPT determined the style of static ad that I uploaded was SAS style. Again, not sure if I agree with that, but at the end of the day, ChatGPT knows best, apparently. Now, again, it's taken my headline, my subheadline, and the CTA button, learn more. And then again, just no people, no screenshots, no dashboards, no gimmicks. Overall mood, again, very nice. Now, let's see what ChatGPT has actually come up with. No, Nano Banana Pro, sorry. See, okay, it's not too bad. Not too bad. I like this one, just because of the background, that works quite nicely. Again, don't overcomplicate this, right? This is literally all you need, right? I really like this one. I think this one's the best out of the bunch. I think if not this one, maybe this one is second, and then this one is close third, in my opinion. This one just looks a bit too plain, almost. There's no like, yeah, it doesn't really stand out too much. But this one I really like. This one could also work quite nicely. I wish the learn more was a little bit more pronounced, but apart from that, that's okay. So what we're going to do is just download them so that I can use them later. Now, let's go back to ChatGPT, and we're actually going to task him with creating his own static creative, okay, without any of my sort of input, right? Just because I always like to see what ChatGPT can throw together. From my previous videos, this isn't the best thing to do because, again, ChatGPT likes rules, he likes boundaries, he likes to be told what to do. So when you give the reins to ChatGPT, it tends not to work too great, okay? So just keep that in mind. But I thought it'd be funny, and I thought it'd be a good idea to see, okay, how would ChatGPT make me a static creative if I was just, ask him, right? Now, let's do that. Hey, ChatGPT, can you make me a completely different static creative? You can use your own decisions on headline, sub-headline, and CTA placement. Surprise me. Again, I'm just doing this for the shits and gigs, to be completely honest. But what you can do, you can just make different variations of your ad. Again, if you do want to call out your target audience in a different way, feel free to do so. Again, if you do have a different use case for using this, again, do that, right? Now, growth shouldn't feel boring by now. Good, but it doesn't call out the target audience, right? And this is, again, where you have to be a little bit switched on in terms of marketing. Anyone who reads that is going to be like, who's that about, right? Growth should feel boring by now. It could apply to literally everyone and their mum. And you might be thinking, okay, yeah, but that's what I want. I want loads of people to see my ad and feel resonated with my message. Yes, but no, right? You might think, oh, if I cast the wider net, I'm going to catch more fish. Not typically how Facebook ads work, right? You want to be as specific as you possibly can in case, it's a bit difficult to understand, right? But I'll try and explain it in simple terms, right? If you try and cast a wide net and catch everyone, you'll catch no one, right? But if you cast a smaller net to catch smaller fish, you'll catch more fish, if that makes sense. It's almost if, a good analogy that I like to use sometimes is, if you are in the middle of a crowd, right, and you stand on top of a chair and you start shouting, Hey everyone. Some people are going to look, yeah, but is everyone going to look? Out of 1,000 people? Probably not, right? But now let's say you stand up on the chair and you say, hey, e-commerce store owners, right? Only e-commerce store owners are going to be like, what's this guy on about, right? Obviously, there's only going to be maybe 20 out of that 1,000, but that's okay because those are actually your target audience. Does that make sense, right? Now, obviously, you can go a little bit further into that, but again, that was just very, very simple analogy. We're going to change this up a little bit and just say, can you call out the target audience for me? Just again, because that's just the best way that I found of doing it. It changes slightly when you're doing video creatives, right? If you're actually going to film something to put onto your meta ads, you don't necessarily have to call out the target audience. You can actually explain the type of problems your target audience has, and they will resonate with that message and assign themselves to your creative, if that makes sense. So like instead of saying, hey, e-commerce store owners are doing above XYZ, you could say something like, if you're doing above £30,000 a month, but your store has XYZ problems, and then go into your pitch, that can also work. I've often found that leading with the problem in video creatives actually tends to work best, whereas static creatives, you don't have that option, right? Because you can't have just a massive load of text. Again, sometimes it might work, but is it really going to work for the majority of people out there? Probably not, right? You want short, precise, clean creatives, and that just get straight to the point and just have one thing going to convert that person into a lead. That's all you want your static to do, right? You don't necessarily want it to do the explaining. That can be done on your landing page or on the appointment setting call, whatever your sales process is. Have the explaining part of your static in the next step, right? The static is only there to create interest and to get them to click onto the next step of the process, okay? So in my specific use case, it's static creative, landing page, book a call form, then obviously appointment setting call, sales call, onboarding call, so on and so forth. Now, let's see this. Okay, let's see what it comes up with. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. Now, again, feel free to use whichever kind of AI you see fit. I've often found that Nano Banana Pro is good. Another decent one is Kling 2.6. I really like Kling. To be fair, let's try Kling. No, Seedream 4.5. Sorry, everyone. That I have found works really, really nicely, and it's also slightly cheaper, like half the credits, right? So let's see what they both come up with, and then we can compare. Okay, I'll be right back once they have finished loading. Okay, so the generations have finished loading, and as you can see here, they're okay. They're okay. There's a few tweaks that I would personally make to the prompt, but again, this is Nano Banana Pro. And you can see a little bit more kind of like a matte style, less kind of like 3D as these, if that makes sense. I really like this one. It's a shame that it included this premium logo. You will get this sometimes, right? Even though I've included it in the prompts, like AKA, no people, no dashboards. Okay, I didn't actually include no logos. So that's actually on me. That's on me, right? But let's just see what Seedream can come up with, because to be fair, I personally like Seedream a little bit more, right? This kind of static would probably work quite nicely. It's a little bit different. It's not something that you see every day. So again, it's probably going to be beneficial to stand out from the crowd. Whereas these ones, again, they're okay. Like, don't get me wrong, but you see this, you're not necessarily instantly going to be like, okay, let me stop for a minute and actually read it. You're probably just going to keep scrolling, right? Again, it's something to test. I could be completely wrong, and to be completely honest, 9 times out of 10, I am completely wrong. The creative that I think will perform the worst typically performs the best. For some weird reason, and I'm sure any meta advertisers out there are probably going to agree with me. You know, maybe not 9 times out of 10, maybe that's a bit too extreme, but like at least 3, 4 times out of 10, the worst performing ad creative. The worst one, in my opinion, is the best performing ad creative. Right? Don't ask me how that works. Maybe it's just my understanding. But if you run meta ads out there, you probably know what I'm talking about, right? It's a weird thing that just happens, right? But okay. Shopify store owners doing 30K plus per month. If your growth feels fragile, your system is the problem. Okay. Yeah, I think that one's the best. I think that one's the most easy to read. I wish to learn more was in a different location. Like here, this one's a little bit better. Yeah, I mean, these are doable. Like I say, you can test these and determine a winner for yourself. And that's exactly what I'll do, right? I would make multiple different variations of these different ads with different headlines, different sub-headlines, primary text, CTA, and just test them. Again, what you want to kind of do and how you want to structure your kind of campaign is have, I would say, 10 different angles that you're going down. So obviously this is an angle, Shopify store owners doing 30K plus per month. I could change this to say like e-commerce stores or something like that. Again, just to see which one people most resonate with. Shopify store owners is a little bit more niche than just saying e-commerce store owners. So again, it's about funneling down rather than funneling out, right? Because again, going back to my analogy, the kind of more specific you are, the better, right? So just keep that in mind. But I hope you did enjoy today's video. I know it was a bit of a short one, but again, it didn't really need to be a long one. Now, if you want to completely understand my process on how I make static creatives, please do let me know down in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to actually kind of write it all down step by step, my exact process and my exact kind of thought pattern on it. It's very easy to understand. You just need to know the entire process behind the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing, if that makes sense. But I hope you did enjoy today's video. If there's anything else that I can do for you, please do let me know. I'd be more than happy to make videos on any problems that you may be having or anything that you'd like to see more on, basically. My next video is probably going to be a little bit more on how to make master prompts and how to make your prompts actually work inside of Higgsfield and how to make ChatGPT actually understand what you're trying to achieve, okay? But again, hope you did enjoy today's video. I'll be here for the long run, so stick around and I will see you in the next one.